Hey everyone, and welcome back to another OurMFC video. I'm your host Jordan, and in today's video, because there was no game at the weekend, obviously international break, we have got a Q&A for you. So over the weekend and the start of this week, we asked you guys to send in some questions, whether that be about like the Boro, anything football related in general, or about OurMFC. And the socials and that kind of thing, and you guys have sent in some brilliant questions, so I'm just going to get into them and be sure to answer them as best as I can, and see how it goes. So the first question comes in from Matt Strachan, and he says, should we keep ndezLang next season? This is a brilliant question. In my opinion, I think we should. With ndezLang working under Warnock previously, I think he'd be an absolutely brilliant signing, especially on a free transfer, because we know the type of player that he is, we know what he's capable of, and if he can find that form that he found at Cardiff, I think going into next season to give it a real big push, I think that'll be absolutely massive. I think he'll be a really key player going forward. You know, like I said, the type of player he is. He likes to run at people, take them on 1v1 and create something out of nothing, really. And that's a player that we lack. And with us being unsure about Cabano and Balassi possibly going back to their clubs in the summer, I think if we could get him in a free to stay next season, I think that would be a superb signing. So for me, I say yes, keep ndezLang, because I don't think we could find a replacement like that could fit in his spot. So keep ndezLang. Next question comes from Boro Latest on Instagram, and they ask, what player would you buy in the summer transfer window? So I'm going to take this as any player I wanted. I'll be realistic though. It's a good question, to be fair. Who would I buy? I say keep it realistic. I'd love to have someone like Ivan Toney. Aguero's going on a free. No, I'd love to have someone like, if I could buy them, yeah, I'd love an Ivan Toney. I said I was going to keep it realistic, but screw that. If I could buy any player in the transfer window, who would it be? Ivan Toney, 100%. He's came to the Championship from League One. Brilliant signing by Brentford anyway. I think he'll have a big money move in the summer to a Premier League club. But yeah, if I could buy any player, it'd be Ivan Toney, because to have a striker like that that's so well-rounded, he's got everything. He's got a bit of height, you know, he's got skill, he's got pace, he makes runs in behind, and he's a brilliant finisher of the ball. He's just such a well-rounded striker. I would 100% buy Ivan Toney. That would be my signing in the summer. But let me know what your signings would be. Who would you, if you had any money, wasn't a thing, right? Steve Wilson goes, there you are, son. There's 100 mil, go and buy a player. Who would you buy? Let me know. Don't be too ridiculous, like say, oh, I'll go and buy Messi. But you know what I mean? Kind of do what I've just done there. And even though that's not really realistic, who would you buy? Let me know in the comments. Next question comes from Day-to-Day Footy. If you had to choose one of the team in the Championship to support, who would it be? Well, actually, going back to what I've just said about Ivan Toney there, honestly, I'd say the last 5 years, I would love to be a Brentford fan. I think that's probably the other team that I'd support in the Championship. Just because the style of football that they play, it's so exciting. Do you know what I mean? It's attacking. One of the teams that score a lot of goals all the time, and the recruitment's unbelievable. I mean, thinking about it, they've had Andre Gray, and then they replaced him with Neil Maupay, then they replaced him with Ollie Watkins, and they replaced him with Ivan Toney. And in each season have been like unbelievable for like in terms of strikers. So to have strikers year after year, I can imagine if they don't go up this season, Ivan Toney will probably go to the Premier League, and they'll replace him with another brilliant striker. So I think, yeah, at Brentford, because of the attacking football that they play, yeah, it'd be amazing. So, yeah, Brentford. Next one comes off Chloe Chadwick. Chloe actually, she writes for OurMFC, and if you don't already know, she is a Stoke fan. So funnily enough, she's asked, if you could take one player from Stoke, who would it be and why? That is a good question. Personally, I think I'd take Sam Clucas when he's not injured. I think Sam's a brilliant player, and he was actually talk of him joining the club at one point. I think it was a couple of years ago now. But I'd love to see. I think Sam Clucas is a brilliant player. He can play in different positions as well. Either someone like him or Powell, because he's another one of them that doesn't stop. Do you know what I mean? He does all them things off the ball that you don't really notice as much, like the runs that he makes to bring other people into play. Either one of them two. Next one, Russ Vernon asks, who is the best Boro manager in your time watching them? Now, I only started, I've watched Boro all my life, but I only started going to the games when I was, I'd say about 6 or 7. Now I'm turning 20 this year, so really when I was watching the team, it was more like under Southgate, and there was some brilliant games there, like that Man City when we beat them 8-1, unbelievable there. But I think I'd have to go with Karanka, just because them couple of seasons, having a season ticket and going from the so many years of hurt really, and not really managing anything, to then Karanka came in and he hasn't had success outside of being at Boro, but the years that he spent at the club, oh my word, kept us up first season, took us to the playoffs, got us promoted, and then we were in the Premier League. So them years for me, I just remember getting so emotional when we'd been promoted, oh my god, we've done it. And to be fair, it wasn't the most exciting football I've seen, but we got the results, and at times we did play great football. So like I say, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all the amount of last minute winners as well that season. Reading at home, that was great. Hull City at home, 2 amazing but really important last minute winners. But when you look at it, there's an extra 4 points from them 2 games that we could have dropped, to have only come out with 2 instead of 6. So Karanka definitely, for me personally, like I say, the football that I've seen, definitely a big Karanka. And then the next one came in from LC_Insta1, and he asks, will Boro fight for promotion? So this question I'm going off this season. Personally, it depends on the next few games. We've got Bournemouth, Barnsley and Watford, I think, in our next 4 games. If we can get something from them next 3 to 4 games, I believe playoffs is still a possibility. But if we don't get anything from, I'd say, the next 2, this season is pretty much done. And I'd say we bring in a couple of players in terms of maybe out of the youth, out of the academy, give Sam Falarin a bit more of a chance, and kind of have a look at players for next season, see who Warnock really wants his core team to be going into next season, and then he gets a better idea of just planning for next season really. But in terms of this season, it definitely depends on the results in the next couple of games. And then the final question comes from Alfie_Boro11, and he asks, how long do you think it will be before Boro get to the Premier League? Honestly, I'm a very optimistic person. I'm the optimist when it comes to Boro, and that's one of the biggest downfalls, and that's why it hurts so much being a Boro fan as well, because it's it's the hope that kills you, the hope year after year, right? This is our season, we're going to give it a good go this season, but Steve Gibson has kept Warnock on with the ultimate goal, of next season getting promoted, whether that be through automatic promotion or the playoffs. And I genuinely, you know what, I do believe it can happen next season. I really do. I think the core of the squad is looking far better than it did the previous season. And if we can get a few players in there that really kind of Warnock likes and that will fit his system, he's done it time after time. I think he's got something like 8 promotions to the Premier League. I 100% believe that he could take us to the Premier League and then end on a massive high at the club. You know, get the fans back in the stadium, fingers crossed. And to go out on a season like that, I think would be amazing. So yeah, I think next season, I genuinely think we'll give it a right good go, and I think we'll do it as well. So yeah, but anyway, that wraps up the Q&A. So a massive thank you to all of you that sent in your questions. That's all I've got time for today. But if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see us doing more of these kind of Q&As and get to know us a bit more, I was thinking of doing live streams as well. So if that's a thing that you want to see, make sure you like the video. If you're watching on, like say, YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We're nearly at 200, so help us get to 200. That'd be amazing, amazing help and a big achievement. And then if you're listening on the podcast, please leave a review. And just like I say, stick around for more content. If you haven't already done so, check out the interview we did with Andy Campbell. I'll leave that up here somewhere. Yeah, but thank you very much for watching, guys, or listening, and I'll see you in the next one.